Okay, hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a website using Dreamweaver CS5. So first what we want to do is we're going to make a new folder. Call this folder Site. Okay, so now open it. You're going to want to make another folder inside the Site folder and call it CSS. And in here, make another folder. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, yes. And call this one. What's happening? Okay, call this one Images. So, we finished that part. Now what we want to do is open up Dreamweaver. And we're just going to have to wait for it to load. Okay. Now we're going to go to Site, New Site, and let's just call it CanKids 2000 because that's the name of that's my username. Okay, so our root folder is going to be Site. Okay. Now what we want to go to do is Advanced Settings, Local Info, Default Images folder, and select Images. Okay. And we're going to save that. Okay, so that we're done with that. Now what we want to do is create a new CSS. And make sure it looks like this. Then we're going to press Apple S. Go into our CSS folder and call it Style. No, you're going to save it. You could click X here. And instead of going to create new down here, you have to go to File, New. Because you have to connect your HTML page to style.css. Okay? Once you've done that, say Create. And now you can see it's connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to start coding. So we're going to press that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Then we're going to make a div tag. And the ID is going to be called header. Because we're going to have a header image. So then we're just going to end that. If you go to design, you'll see there's your div. So now what we want to do is go to style.css and start coding that. We're going to put a number sign and we're going to type header because that's the name of our div, space, and 2 curly brackets. Go in between those and press enter. First what we want to do is type height. In height we want to write 120 pixels, semicolon, enter. Then for width we're going to have 980 pixels. Press enter. I'm going to write margin left, auto, margin right, auto. Now if we go back to design, you can see it set the size and centered it. So now what we want to do is go back to source code. We're going to press enter twice and make a new div tag. Give its ID, call this ID content underscore wrap. And then end this div. I'm going to go in here and press enter 3 times. And we're going to actually just up there. I'm going to go to style CSS, press enter, and make a new one called content underscore wrap, curly brackets, and there you go. What we want to do now is type height. The height we're going to make is 800 pixels because that's going to be best size for quite a large screen, or maybe even a normal sized Mac laptop, MacBook Pro. So then we're going to make the width 980 pixels. Finally, we're going to make the margin left auto, in the margin right auto. We go back to design. There you can see. Yes. There it is. So we're going to go back to our source code. In here, make another div and make sure it's in between this contents wrap div. Give it an ID of, its ID could be called left_content. Okay? This is going to be our sidebar right here. Okay? And then we're going to put another div, a lot of divs, and call it right content. Okay? There you go. So you can go back to your style.css, number sign, and write left content. Make sure you spell it exactly the same as you did in your source code, otherwise it won't know what you're telling it to do. So enter. Height is going to be the same as the content wrapped height. So it's going to be 800 pixels. Its width is going to be, let's see. Okay, I'm going to pause this video real quick, and I just quickly need to search what the width is. I forgot. Okay, I realized it has to be. Make it 240 pixels. Okay? And now we're going to go back to design, and you can see there's our sidebar. But what you're going to notice is if you start putting in the CSS for your right content, this left content is going to go all around the page. And that's because we haven't set it to stay left. So what we want to do is type float, and we're going to say if float left. Okay? And it doesn't look like anything's changed, but believe me, something has. So now we're going to make our right content, and let's start doing this one. We're going to put height, obviously 800 pixels, and then width. Okay, and the width is going to be 730. Okay, the thing I did was 980 minus 240, which was the width, would obviously be 740. But we're going to make it 730, and you'll see why just now. Okay, 730 pixels. Okay, design. And now something weird has happened here. So we're going to put, let's see, what do you put? Okay, sorry about that. Let me pause it one more time. Okay, I realized what it was. All you have to do now is say float right, okay? That's all. Just float right. And now you'll see it makes a wide space of 10 pixels in between these two things, which is what we want. That's why we made it 730 pixels instead of 740. Otherwise, they'd be like smashed together. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to do one more thing, and that is going to be our footer. And we're going to put it underneath our contents wrap. We don't want it to be in there because it's a separate thing. So we're going to make a div ID, and we're going to call it footer, okay, and that tag. And in here we're going to put an and sign, and we're going to write copy, and there it is, with the semicolon, space, copy, right, 2012, okay? So now we're going to go to our style.css, and you see there, it made it into a different div. But we're just going to put up one more CSS thing for it. Footer. Okay. And let's say okay, the height is going to be 20 pixels, and the width is going to be 980 pixels. Okay, that's working so far. Then we're going to put a margin for it, and this margin is going to be called auto, and one more margin. Ooh, you know what I did wrong? Okay, margin, make sure it's margin left, and this margin is margin right, which is going to be auto. If you go back, it should be centered. Yep, there it is. Copyright 2012. The last thing we're going to do in this tutorial is center that. So you put a center in between here and here, okay? And then you're just going to end that. Go back. There, it's centered. So that's all for this tutorial. Actually, no, wait, it isn't. We still have to, what we're going to do is going to click X there. No, cancel. You're going to say Command S and save it on your site folder and call it index.html. Save. Okay? Now you can say X, save. And now let's just exit out of Dreamweaver. Open up your site folder. And let's see. CSS, there it is. If we open up index.html, open up in the internet. And there it is. Okay, looks like nothing now, but just wait and see until the next tutorial. Thank you, and good night.